Hello everyone, today we're gonna discuss SQL versus NoSQL databases. First of all, what is SQL database? It's basically a table, yeah? It can have a lot of tables and they can have complex interaction between them and thus complex queries. So that's basically a table, and separate tables can have relations. The next thing that connects SQL to SQL is ACID. What is this? What is this word even stands for? So this stands for atomicity, consistency, and isolation and durability. What this means? Atomicity means that if you have a transaction that you put to an SQL, it either successfully completes and is in the SQL, or it doesn't complete successfully and basically fails. There is nothing in between of those two. If you want to store some hello world string and it kinda fails, so it cannot serve like chopped version, like first few characters of hello world, it can store hello, it will not store the string at all. What is consistency? Consistency basically means that there are set rules and boundaries for a database. Like if you have a table of strings and you want to place there an integer or some other data type, it will fail and your database will keep your table will keep being a table of strings. What is isolation? All read-writes are completely isolated. The outcomes of two different transactions would be independent, as if there is only one transaction at a time. For example, two users cannot buy one laptop at the same time. Only one who's faster gets it, and the other one would fail to do so. And durability. Durability means that if transaction went through, then it's there in the database, and even if some kind of problem occurred with the server, even if it is down, cracked, or something else, the transaction was successful and data is in the database no matter what. Then what's next? So it's basically like a table, always consistent structure, mostly for banks and reliable architectures. What about NoSQL? It's basically key value pairs. Like you can have some kind of key, a small string or hash or whatever you would like a number, and value. And value is about anything you want to be. It can be a string, a file, it can be even a whole table. So it is basically NoSQL is not like no SQL, it's like not only SQL. A bit more about SQL. You can have like a server, and if you have too many users, for example, or you have too many data, you would want to buy another server, the bigger one, the one that has more resources, for example. And this is called vertical scaling. Like there is always a limit to how big the server you buy can be. And for NoSQL you can like buy another server and like call it a partition, and assign certain key value pairs to a certain partition, so that you can have several NoSQL servers, and it doesn't break the structure. You still have the data, you still have NoSQL database system. Well, this is called sharding, breaking down key value pairs to respective partitions. Let's name a few keys, for example, like this, and assign. This is basically assigning each key value pairs to each partition. So it is assigned based on keys. So if you have 002, 003, 4, 1 and 5, 1 through 3 goes to partition 1, and 4 through 5 goes to partition 2. So that means that there is such an action of reorganizing your NoSQL system. Like you have 001 go to partition 1 and 004 go to partition 2, because they have keys like that. And this is called repartitioning. So then, if we have ACID for SQL, we have base for NoSQL. What that means? That means basically available, soft state, and eventual consistency. What is basically available? If some database is broken and the whole system still works, and you can get data from other partitions as if nothing happened, this is basically available. Then we've got soft state. What it means? That means that system can change over time, even if users doesn't write anything to the database, like maintenance. Some partition undergoes some kind of maintenance, so it moves its keys to another partition while it's offline, and that doesn't mean that certain keys are all the time at certain partition. It is soft state, it always in the state of moving depending on the circumstances. And eventual consistency. It promises that things will be consistent in the end. Like in the end, the system will put all data to each partition, and finally everything will be accessible. Like every single bit of information will be accessible, and this will be the latest data available. But there is a problem. What problem actually NoSQL has is that reading is fast and cool and always works, like almost always. But when you write some data there and query it might not be there right away, because there is base and cap compliance. What that means? That means that database system might take some time to decide how to classify your data, which key to assign to that data, to which partition to move it into, and so on. So it takes time, and it won't be right away like it would in SQL. You'll have to wait some milliseconds for that. So we've got cap theorem. What is this? This is yet another thing that describes NoSQL systems. It is consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. And the thing is that you can take only the 2 out of those 3. what is consistency? What consistency stands for? It means that it outputs you the latest information. The availability means that it responds to every request any user on the planet sends it. And partition tolerance means that if something breaks, some partition undergoes maintenance, then it doesn't fail, it doesn't crash, it still continues to do its work. And you can get only 2 out of 3 of these. Like, you can get consistency and partition tolerance, and you'd get something that is consistent and never breaks completely, like, and that's kind of suitable for banks and systems that should be reliable. And you can take availability and partition tolerance, and that would be for tasks like media platforms, where it should be live by all means, not exactly the latest information, but it should be live and working and functioning all the time. And you can choose only 2 out of 3 of them, unfortunately, because that's how it actually works. And if SQL has vertical scaling, meaning you buy simply in place of this one small server, you buy another one, bigger one. For NoSQL, we've got horizontal scaling. What it means? That means that you can buy several servers and put them like in a row, and each one of them would serve some data and would contribute to the whole system. You would need only to buy yet another server to allow your users to store more data, and there is no limit. Initially there is no limit. You can buy 1,000,000 servers and it will store infinite amount of data. So those are pros and cons of SQL and NoSQL, and thank you for watching.